this is the usual for simplifying. For solving equations, we can go backwards. So we can do our addition subtraction first, and that, as long as you're doing the same thing to both sides, it's still equal. And then multiplication, division, parentheses, exponents in parentheses. Okay, so let's go ahead and what is that? 5x plus 2. Can you read it to me?
5x plus 2 minus 3x equals 14.
All right, talk it through.
So since we're doing reverse PEMDAS.
So, okay, let me offer a little clarification there on reverse PEMDAS. You can start your reverse PEMDAS once one of the sides is all the way simplified.
Okay.
So you still want to do as much simplifying as you can before you're going to do PEMDAS stuff.
Oh, okay.
So do you see anything, especially on this side here, that you can simplify?
No, because we don't know what x is.
Can I give you any hints?
Oh, you combine 3 and 5.
Yeah, combine like terms.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking, like, is it combined like terms? I don't know.
Yep.
So, what would it be? What would it be? X plus 2 or?
Here, let me show you something else. Okay, I'm going to switch to another color. When we're dealing with all these terms, this is all together, and this is all together. So that variable and the coefficient and the sign, those all together go together as one term.
Okay. So would it be negative 8x?
What is the sign if it's not written?
Positive.
Okay, so when we combine like terms, we keep the variable.
Yes.
And what do we do to the coefficient?
We add it.
Okay, so it's positive 5 minus 3.
Positive 5 minus... Oh, yeah. My brain wasn't working. Positive 5 minus 3 would be... So it would be 2x plus 2 minus x.
Nope, that's it. So go ahead and put your equal sign.
Oh yeah, because it's 14.
Yep, so I'll show you. It's as soon as you apply that...
X is 7. Wait, no.
Well, don't get
X is,
all right, don't get ahead of yourself. Don't get ahead of
Sorry.
yourself, okay?
My brain was...
We're just going to deal with combining like terms. When you do that,
I was thinking that as...
think of them as they're getting squished together, okay? So you will save yourself a bunch of headache if you don't run ahead and do too many steps at one time.
I know, I'm
okay.
sorry, my brain
So now we're going to look, again, look over here to this side, and then we'll look at the other. Can that simplify any further?
Can what?
Can this stuff over here, can that simplify any further? And simplify means like if there's any distributions that can happen, or simplifying like terms, or simple arithmetic.
No.
Okay, great. And then you just want to double check this side. Is there any simplification happen over there?
No.
No. So once you get all the way simplified, that's when you go ahead and jump in and do your reverse PEMDAS. So do you remember PEMDAS?
I think I know what it is, though.
I know, but you still got to go through the steps because this will be helpful for you.
Can I say it, or otherwise it's going to bottle up in me?
Okay, you can say it.
I think x is 6, because 2 times x, 2 times 6 is 12, plus 2 is 14.
Okay. Yep, let's see. All right. So what we're going to do first is remember these two go together. What do they stand for? A and S?
Addition and subtraction.
All right. Where do you see the addition and subtraction there? All right. And I'm just going to write it just a little bit differently because, and this is to remind us so we can get in the habit of it. If it's an equation, we got to do the same exact thing to both sides so that, remember, it's like a teeter-totter. It has to stay equal. So this one's easy, right? Wow. That's the whole reason you did that. So now draw for me the next line right there. What's left?
So that would be 2. It would just be 2x.
Yep. Go ahead and write it for me.
2x. And then since you do subtract then 2 from that, that would make that 2x would equal 12.
All right. Now going back up here to PEMDAS, we got the addition, subtraction. What's next?
Multiplication and division.
All right.
The only sense of multiplication is 2 times x.
Perfect. And what you do to what you do to solve?
My brain isn't working. Give me a second.
What? And the way you ask that is, what is the 2 doing to the x?
Multiplying.
What's the opposite of multiplying?
Division.
There
Division.
you are. Yep.
That's how you do it.
Cool. So go ahead and show me.
So you would do 2 divided by 12.
Right here, let me show you. You can remember the fractions are the same as division.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes that's just a little bit more clean and neat, and then you can cross it out pretty easy.
Yeah. So x would equal 12 divided by 2 is 6. So x would equal 6.
Try to make a little bit of room there. X equals 6. Good.
So x equals 6.
Then I want you to show your work. Show work. Solve each equation below. Show your work. All right. So basically, what that means is you just go line by line.
I know.
Okay. I'll put this over here so you can see it.
We're probably gonna get like 3 questions done now.
That's fine. On the next one, if you want to do it on the computer, that's fine, as long as you talk it out with me.
Okay. So I'm just gonna move this down here and work from the actual thing. So simplify 5x plus 2 minus 3x would turn it into 22x. 2x plus 2 equals 14. Then you would minus 2, then minus 2, 2x equals 12, x divided by 2, and then 12 divided by 2, which then would mean that, which would then have x equals 6. Alright. So now we have some parentheses. We have 4 times 2c minus 8, which equals 16.
All right, what you thinking?
So, I can't see any ways to No, I can't see any ways to simplify.
Well, there's always a way to simplify. It's just
without PEMDAS.
You're not obligated to simplify just because you can. Yeah. So if you're going to skip that, what's your first thought on how to
PEMDAS? So we need to do 2c minus 8. We need to deal with that.
How are you going to deal with 2c minus 8?
doing the inverse of...
All right. We're going to have to use scratch paper, bud.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't think that would go well.
That's cool. I mean, your teacher's got to understand that you're going to use scratch paper. You can't just do
I know.
whatever
That's
on the computer.
thing. Like, whenever they say show work on one of the computer tests, like, how am I supposed to show work?
I know. It'd be nice if you could just, like take a picture of scratch paper.
Yeah.
All right, read it to me again.
4 parentheses 2c minus 8 parentheses equals 16.
16, right? Okay. All right, couple of choices we can do here. Now, tell me what you were thinking before. So
That without PEMDAS, I don't. Of course, you're the math expert, and I'm not. And obviously,
yeah,
I'm
but
not.
part of it's like I'm not with you all the time, so you gotta.
I know, but
Yeah.
I'm joking.
I got you. But tell me what you're thinking.
That's without using PEMDAS at first, I can't seem to find a way to simplify.
All right. So one clarification I have for you is like there's almost always simplification available to you. Like for example, that's just a plain. That 4 is just a plain old number, right?
Yeah.
So if you wanted to, you could distribute it.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Into that quantity. You could. The hint I have for you is you don't want to do that because it'll be more of a headache later.
Okay.
But we could have a fun exercise where we could do it that way and still solve it. But there is a little bit more of a clean and neat way. Okay. So I'm gonna back up a little bit. So you already thought, okay, nothing I want to simplify over there because that'll be a mess. What's another choice available to you?
Reverse PEMDAS?
Okay, so what could be your first step in reverse PEMDAS?
In reverse PEMDAS,
I'm going to write it down here just for our memory.
it would be addition or subtraction, and we have subtraction.
All right, so here is a little trick here, okay?
Okay.
Let me find a way to explain that for you. So you don't want to get yourself. I think where you're going is you're thinking you want to add that 8. Like I can see where you're thinking, right?
Yeah.
All right. You can't quite do that because the parentheses still matter.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So let me show you an example of like if this were quantity 4 times quantity 2c minus 8 plus 3, like throw that 3 on the other side, then yeah, you could reverse PEMDAS that and start with addition and subtraction. But if it's inside, think of it this way.
Oh, yeah, so you're going this way. Parentheses is the last.
It is last. So you also have to think it's kind of like parentheses you can think of it's like it's in jail. It's stuck in there. It can't get out. Okay? So
get it.
yes, you can do addition and subtraction first, and you should do addition and subtraction first, but there's none that are free.
Until I can't do it yet.
Exactly. So let's go on.
Deal with the 4 and the parentheses.
Exactly. So let's go on up to the next level. What's that?
Multiplication and division.
Do you see that going
have
on?
Just 1 outside of parentheses, and that's with the 4 to the parentheses.
All right. What is the 4 doing to the parentheses?
It's multiplying.
All right. What's the opposite of multiplying?
Dividing.
Bop, 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 bop.
And then 16 divided by 4 would be 4.
Uh-huh.
So 2c minus 8 equals 4.
I want to make that blue. Bop, bop. 2c minus 8, right?
Yes.
All right. And then for each step also, you want to restart PEMDAS. So I'll do it up here. Okay. PEMDAS. You want to restart it. So now that we're restarted, look at it again.
Oh.
Fresh PEMDAS.
Oh, so then I do the minus.
Yeah.
And the subtraction, I mean.
Uh-huh.
So then when I do the inverse.
So what is the 8 doing to the 2c?
It's subtracting.
What's the opposite of that?
It would be adding. The inverse of subtracting is adding.
And you got to do it to both sides. So what are you left with on?
2c equals, and then 4 plus 8 is 2c.
Just do 4 plus 8.
Sorry, my brain. 4 plus 8 would equal 12.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I can't say that. So multiplication and division, the only one would be 2c, and then you divide both sides. It's 6 again, isn't it? It's 6 again.
So divide by 2, divide by 2.
Yep, it's 6.
6. All right. So what I'll do, you can go ahead and do this as show your work, but then I'm going to run through that again with doing distribution instead, and just to show you what happens. Because that's the cool thing with math, is there's multiple ways to get the same right answer.
Okay. 2c minus 8 would equal, I just put plus. Does it equal, I can't see from here. 4. Equals 4. And let's add 8 one side. Adding to the other, which will make 12. So then we put 2c equals 12. Then divided by 2. Divided by 2. Then we put c equals 6.
Cool. All right, I like how you did that. All right, let me start over here, and I want to show you the same problem, but just a different path. So what was that? 4 times the quantity, what was that, 2c?
Minus 8.
2c minus 8, and that's equal to 16. All right. So you could have also distributed if it didn't occur to you to do that reverse PEMDAS right off the bat for simplification. Or another reason you might want to do it that way is if this was a number that didn't go easily into 4. That could be another reason to say, oh, I'm not going to bother with that. Like if that were a 15, you could be like, I'm going to save that decimal math for later. So 4 times 2, because we're distributing, is 8c. 4 times 8, negative 8, sorry, 4 times negative 8 is?
4 times negative 8 would be negative 32.
Good.
Like, I had the words in my mouth.
And we didn't do anything to the 16. So now we can add the 32 to both sides. So then we get 8c, 16, and that's a 32, I promise. So that's 52.
Yep.
I'm sorry, that's a 2. 48. Let's see, how many times does 8 go into 48?
How many times does 8 go into 48? That would be 8 goes into 48. 4 times is the closest it gets. Oh, 6.
Yep. So same answer as you got before. So isn't it, it should be nifty that
All right.
if you don't see it right off the bat, you can go about it a different way.
Okay.
So as long as you're following the rules of order operations and simplification and all that stuff, you'll get the right answer.
All right.
And break out those flashcards.
Okay.
Okay.
Today it's more like that. I do need to break them out still, but
All right.
break them out of prison. But today, like, I have the words in my head to say them. I just can't say them for some reason.
All right. You want to do number 3 on the scratch paper?
Yes.
I tell you what, is there any on there, because we're running short on time?
No, she likes to do, they get progressively
That's what I'm saying.
Progressively more, like, complex.
Is there any that you want to do that's like, oh man, that looks really hard, I definitely want to do that one together?
I think I got it.
Okay, then let's go ahead and do number 3.
All right.
Because we got time for probably 1, maybe 2 more.
All right.
All right, did you want to do scratch paper?
Yes.
Okay.
It's.
Oh, am I copying it down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your handwriting is much better.
Well, to get started.
Parentheses 6h plus 8 and parentheses minus, start another set of parentheses, 3h plus 2 and parentheses equals 15.
Cool. I like how you read that. It's really clear. All right, tell me what you're thinking.
So I'm thinking,
Here, I will move this over.
because there's the only number that isn't on this side of the equation are the ones in parentheses, and the only operation that's not in parentheses is the subtraction, which is subtracting both of these. I don't know how I would do that.
All right, so let me get rid of that little mark there. So if ever you're stuck, one way to get unstuck is go ahead and do some of your simplification steps. So what's your first simplification step? Especially when you see parentheses.
But since it's do the simplifications, do like combining like factors, or combining like numbers, count, like have to follow PEMDAS, like.
Yeah, you gotta follow PEMDAS when you're doing simplification.
So I can't do 2 of them, like one times h and another times h if they're both in different parentheses sets.
Right, so your hint there is they're both in parentheses. So remember regular PEMDAS. What's the very first step in regular PEMDAS?
Oh, parentheses.
Is there anything you can do inside those parentheses?
Nothing inside the parentheses by
Nothing inside the
themselves.
parentheses. Okay, so we'll go to the next step. What's the next step of PEMDAS?
Exponents, we don't have any exponents.
Right, what's the next step?
Multiplication.
Right, and then, so one hint on multiplication is we can do in that step, back up a little bit, with parentheses and multiplication together, you can do distribution as part of your simplification.
Okay.
Where do you see any distribution that can happen here? All right, ready for another hint?
Yes.
Even if you don't see it, there's always a number in front of parentheses.
A 0?
Nope.
What?
Well, what's some other special numbers? Yeah, 0 is special. What's another special number?
Pi?
Well, 1.
1.
There's always a 1. Go ahead and write that in a different color.
Red, because it's important.
Okay, there's always a 1 in front of that parenthesis.
Is it only in front of the first parentheses? Or both?
Every parenthesis in the whole entire world. All right. So, what you can do here is, now that you see that there's a 1 there, you can distribute that 1. In the case of that second parenthesis, it's a negative 1. Distribute that negative 1. So let's go ahead and do the first one, because that's easier. Distribute that positive 1 into the first parentheses.
So it would be 7h plus 8.
How are you getting 7?
Oh, I was adding in my head.
So remember, parentheses, it means multiplication.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It would still be 6h plus 8.
Yep, and just drop the parentheses. So go ahead and write that. Yep, go ahead and switch back to blue so we can keep it straight.
6h plus 8.
All right, so you already worked with that parenthesis. Awesome.
So since this...
Yep, distribute that negative 1 into the other parentheses.
So that would make negative 3h
Yep.
plus negative 2.
And simplify that for me. Instead of plus negative 2, what's a simpler way to say plus negative 2?
Minus 2.
Perfect.
So now it would be 3h,
Yep.
minus 2.
Lovely. All right. So now you just dealt with both parentheses. And go ahead and give your other side of the equation.
What?
Make sure, remember it's an equation.
Oh, yes.
Make sure you preserve.
Equal 50.
Yep, preserve that equation. All right. So now that we unlock those parentheses, you now have available to you some other simplification. Specifically,
the 6h and...
Yep, the like terms. Circle for me the like terms. Uh-huh. And circle like terms in the same color. All right, back up.
Yeah.
Up. Okay, try that one more. Here, let's back up a little bit more. Use a different color other than blue.
Okay.
Okay. So the H terms, circle. Good. Yes, good. You captured the sign with it. And then give me orange for the other like terms.
Would it be this and this?
Mm-hmm. So now on your next line, switch back to blue, because that's we're dealing with her there.
All right.
Combine them like terms.
So 6h plus negative 3h, which would equal 3h.
Wonderful.
3h
What's the other like terms?
plus, positive 8 minus 2
Yep.
would be 4. 3h
Think about it.
would be
8 minus 2.
8 minus 2. Sorry. Would be 6.
Wonderful.
So 3h6 or 3h plus 6?
Well, they're separate terms, right? So
Yeah.
you need to show how the terms are separate. So you keep the sign, because if you're 3h6.
Okay, so plus 6.
Yeah. Yep. If you're 3h6, that would mean you're multiplying it together. And, that doesn't make sense. It's a completely separate term.
And then equals 15.
Yep. Good. You preserve the equation. Lovely. All right.
And so
Any other simplification you can be doing? Sometimes I ask trick questions.
No.
No.
I had to think there for a second.
Sometimes I'll ask you trick questions.
I had to double check myself because I was
Right.
thinking, no.
So when there's no more simplification that you can do, how do you proceed to solving?
PEMDAS. Reverse PEMDAS.
Reverse PEMDAS.
So first we deal with addition.
Yep.
With subtraction.
Yep.
So minus 6. What it up? Then
Good sound effects.
minus 6. I was trying to separate it there, but then I realized, oh wait, dividing. So 15 minus 6 would equal 9. So 3h equals 9. And so divided by 3, whoop-de-doo. Divided by 3, whoops. We divided by 3, whoop. Would it make it 3h equals 3.
Wonderful. So you can
Just
go ahead
on time.
and copy your work there. So I'll say just the recap there, so that when you run into other places you get stuck, is always look for a way to simplify, and some of the easily simplifying steps are distributing into parentheses and combining like terms. Those are probably your two most common simplifying tasks.
All right.
All right. So that one was a little bit tricky because you had that hidden, that invisible one that wasn't real clear.
Boom. We did it. Right on time.